This little girl is Jambalaya. She came to us today from the Fort Worth shelter. We don't know exactly what the story is on her as far as her intake. She's technically noted in the shelter records as being a stray. She was found in a parking lot where I'm assuming somebody just dumped her. So what we're dealing with here, the shelter vets weren't sure, and we weren't sure at first, whether we were looking at a congenital deformity of the rear limbs. Obviously, you can see both of her rear limbs are fused straight out. So she has no mobility in those legs at all. She has no feeling in those legs at all. She has very little, if any, blood circulation in those legs. They're cold to the touch, so they're just basically useless, dead weight to her. So there's no other way to proceed other than to take those legs and tail off. She does have some involuntary movement of the tail, which, as you can see, is a bit of a tease for her. She likes to chase her tail. But we're going to go ahead and take that tail off, because when you have a two-legged dog who is totally incontinent, both fecal and urine, the tail is a bit of a hindrance as far as sanitary conditions and diapering and that sort of thing, and it really doesn't provide, because she has involuntary movement only. She has no actual control of that tail, so she couldn't use it for balance or things like that. There's just no reason to keep that there. So following initial consult and diagnostics today, what we have found is that this is actually not a congenital malformation. This is stems from trauma left untreated. Jambalaya is only 3 months old, so it had to have been when she was very young. Some sort of trauma, some sort of abuse or accident, but it was left totally untreated, which is why she has the extent of atrophy and fusion of the rear limbs that she does have. So unfortunately, she didn't have very good parents. They didn't take very good care of her, but she's in good hands now, and we're going to get her fixed up, and I think that she's going to do very well overall. So right now she's actually doing really well. Obviously, we don't let her just bounce around like this constantly. This is when she first arrived, and we have to observe. We have to see what her abilities are. So, and moving forward, obviously, we'll have her protected. She'll be diapered because, again, she is incontinent. Her legs will be wrapped, or she'll be in a drag bag. But she won't be getting the wounds and the sores. She has some open wounds from doing just this, and she has some pretty serious bladder concerns. She's got some malformations of the bladder, which basically come from not being expressed and allowing her bladder to become too full. So we're really lucky that she was taken in time, that her bladder didn't just rupture. And that may be due to the fact that she is such a bouncy little thing, that she is so as mobile as she can be, and energetic, because that has helped push some of the urine out. Obviously not enough, because we do have some infection going on. We have some crystallization going on in there, things that shouldn't be. So those things are all being addressed. She has coccidia, she has hookworms, but despite all of this, obviously, look at her. I mean, she's a happy, bright, beautiful little girl. She's energetic. She's social. She's, she just wants to live however she is. So, I can't see putting a dog like this down, snuffing out a little spirit like this. So we're going to move forward. We're going to push as hard as we can to get the funding. Obviously, this is another big surgery, comes at a very high cost, but I think she's going to do very well in the long run. She will, be a triple amputee. She'll be incontinent. She'll be diapered. She'll have a wheelchair, and she'll be someone's heart dog in the end. So please continue to follow, continue to support, continue to share. This is what we do all day, every day. Major medical, critical care. These are the cases that we take on, and this is why we need your support. Jambalaya is going to do great. I feel like she's the perfect candidate for this surgery, and we're hopeful that she'll go on to have an uneventful recovery and live a long, happy life with a very special family of her own.